Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be beginning the narration and character voice acting for the side story HORTUS de Escapismo, or as it translates to into English, Garden of Escapism. Now thinking back on it, maybe I should have begun the episode today with Salve. Considering how much Latin they crammed into this, I have a tiny little document on my side that I had to compile for this one, but that's beside the point. Before we begin with anything, the usual question here at the beginning that I always ask, and that is, do you need to understand or know any side story before going into this one? The simplest of answers would be a personal recommendation to go through the guide ahead story before this one, considering that the HORTUS side story is taking place pretty much a very short while after the events of guide ahead have concluded. A lot of stuff, has been already established over there. You don't obviously need to. It's just a personal recommendation to get more context to and see these characters, well, two of these three characters that are currently on screen as well, be properly introduced and shown in that part, and some other plotlines and some other stuff that will come in later, potentially into this story, be properly teased and established in Guide Ahead, of course. Guide Ahead is a story that I already did a narration last year for, narration and voice acting. The playlist for it is in the description of this video, right at the very top. If you want to go through it in your own time, it is right there at your convenience. And there is a story that precedes even these two stories that, where the whole Sancta stuff began and first got properly teased from, and it is Code of Brawl. So if you want to go all the way back and see how it evolved over time, you can do so. Playlist again is in the description of the video. That one is not necessary, but it's kind of like the cherry on top if you want to go all the way back and see the wild shenanigans that happen in that one. Considering that that one also spreads into, or rather diverges into Il Siracusano, might be a good one to do at some point. But that's beside the point. Like I said, Guide Ahead would be my recommendation. You don't need to do it. But if you feel a bit lost and want to see these characters before this side story took place, go through Guide Ahead. It will definitely fill in the blanks and will definitely properly establish Laterano, the law, and a couple of other things. Alright, so before we begin with the quick introduction what will be included in today's episode, first and foremost, there are already timestamps in the comment section below in the pinned comment if you want to just skip the rest of this and start with the story, the animation, and wherever you want to skip into, you're free to do so. But before we begin, very quick, because I usually like to say a couple of things before we begin here, and that is my expectations for this story and what will be in it. Obviously, I have read the beginning already, which will be in today's part, but I had essentially just two things that I hoped are gonna be properly, you know, elaborated in this story about, and who knows, maybe they will, maybe they won't. One of them seems to be the more like, yeah, that will definitely be one of the things. The other one, we'll see. Not gonna say which one is which, but the two things I only had expectations for here in this story were a proper introduction to what the law is, what it does, what its purpose is, like elaborate essentially about the thing. We did get teased about that and the Sancta in multiple places recently over the past couple of months, from Lone Trail to even the main stories. So you know, kind of a lot of Sancta stuff has been already explained and literally bombshelled out of the way, so I have nothing about that. So that's why I'm down to only two things here. The other thing is the introduction of Arturia, her whole craziness and character and stuff like that, so let's see how that one goes. But yeah, those were my only two things going into this story, and oh boy, are we going in a certain kind of thing. But yeah, you'll see what I mean once we start. So then, for the battle plan and how much we're going to be covering in today's first part. As you can see, we're going to cover the introductory cutscene and the first two stages with the before and after cutscenes. Plus, before we begin with anything out of those stories, we are gonna open up with the very, very stylized official like little mini trailer, little scene movie, almost whatever, that is available on the official Arknights English YouTube channel, which I will leave a link for specifically as well in the description of the video if you want to just watch that one specifically. It will be right there. One thing I will say about that cutscene is, that scene rather, is that the whole thing is voiced. There is a narrator going through it. However, the narrator is speaking purely in Latin. You do have subtitles in English below, so you'll be able to follow it along, but yeah. Obviously, because of theming and everything, the guy is speaking purely in Latin, so you'll have to read what's on screen. Luckily, the subtitles look big enough, so hopefully they're visible. So that will be our beginning, then we go into the story. And once we're done with the story, we're gonna conclude with the full file and voice file for the OG Executor. Considering that we have Executor Alter here, and the OG Executor has an operator record as well, which more on that later, probably a lot of stuff about him will be included in these coming episodes for this thing. But yeah, cutscene first, then we begin with the story scenes here in game, and then we conclude with the file and voice file for Executor, OG Executor. And that will be our stuff for today. So all I can say is, let us begin with the introductory cutscene.
In principio, transcampus habulabant gens. Quo vadeba, quid quareba. Iamque veritas influmene temporis Deus somersa est, ac nulla sunt vestigia. Cantus canuntor, sancti hic ambulavere, splendores hi videre, odor iam Dio coruscat, iusque iam Dio comparat. Vere, urbem condemus, sancti omnes dixere. Ita paradisus sancti super terram custodius est. Appellatus est, Laterano. Ambra tanum nunquam recessit, ac flamme belli urbem sanctum incendere, omnia tempore eroduntor ac caelandor, hic interpat millennium pacis. Ad me veni, mi fili, mox sacrum incipiet.
Alright, and with the most Dark Souls looking like cutscene ever, let us begin with our first in-game scene, titled Crown Offering. The Holy City bestows a radiant crown. They say Laterano is paradise. A land of freedom, happiness, and order, one of the few left in this chaotic world. Have you ever known doubt, my child? How was our city built? How did it grow? And how did it prosper? Why is there only one Laterano? Why is it called the Eternal Paradise? If the fires of war burn once more, and peace falls into ruin before our eyes, will the world continue to tolerate paradise? Danger. Repeat. Danger. Danger level analyzing. Maximum. Deploying simulation sequence. Simulation failed. Activating emergency response mechanism. Outputting suitable personnel list. They are here, Your Holiness. Very well. Are you sure about this? There's no precedent for it aside from the canonization of the popes. It's risky. You are correct. I could find no such record in our millennium of history. But that is of no concern. What is of concern is the warning I received. What is it about specifically? I would answer your question honestly, if I could. Our glowing faith has warned us that danger is near, but no one knows what it is or how it will arrive. I only see a list of names. First on the list is the main character of today's performance. That's why you propose canonizing him? Still, the title of saint is special, reserved for the holy ones who build Laterano. I hold the same title. That's different. You're the Pope, sir. You're conceding in a significant amount of power. He will have the right to participate in a multitude of matters, even policy making. This is no small thing. Easy, Giovanni. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And as I said, there is more than one name on the list. What? Are you proposing that all of them be canonized? That's absurd. I mean, against the rules. Don't be so quick to judge, Giovanni. We need to find them first. I saw some familiar names. Do you know who's on it? No idea. In that case, I'll let it remain a secret for a little longer. Giovanni. I think I'll visit these friends after the ceremony.
Why are there so many balloons? There's even a pie throwing competition on that street up ahead. I had to take a detour because of all the pies on the ground. Is there some sort of festival on?
No idea. Heard it's a ceremony or something, but I don't know the specifics. Who cares at the end of the day? Let's just enjoy the occasion like we always do. Say, do you think I could fly if I tied myself to these balloons?
You don't have a prayer, even if you lost 20 pounds.
Don't say that. Maybe I could take off my jacket. It's a pretty warm day. Hey, look! New balloons! Here, hold my jacket. I've got to try this.
Hey, be careful.
Whoa! I'm flying! Hey, how do I stop climbing? Oh no, I forgot I'm scared of heights! Pardon.
Hey, don't go. Help.
Help! Let me down! Alright. Ow! Man, that hurt. But thanks. My balloons! You popped them all? Did you really have to be so cruel? It was the logical solution, given the circumstances. I guess, but couldn't you have left me a couple?
He got you down. Stop whining. Don't mind this idiot, sir. Where did you get that outfit? It looks cool.
I can't say.
What do you mean? Was it a gift?
Looks like a work uniform. There's something familiar about it.
Where did you get a uniform like that? I'm applying.
I'm not sure it's a standard uniform. You can submit your curriculum vitae to the Curia. Very quickly, curriculum vitae, life resume.
They led the Sancta, they built a city and named it Laterano. And when disaster looms once more, a new revelation shall dawn upon the Sancta, and a new guide shall lead forth. The paradise of the Sancta shall remain eternal, as witnessed by the world.
The legatus all in the same voice, we bear witness. The apostolic knights in the same voice, we bear witness. The clerics in the same voice, we bear witness.
Ite missa est. Go, the mass has ended. You can raise your head now, my child. No, a different name is appropriate here. Raise your head and stand by my side, Saint Federico Giallo, the first chosen of Laterano who does not come from the ranks of the popes. A measured reaction, not a fan of balloons.
I don't understand. What is the duty of a saint? What is the disaster that looms? Does it call for immediate action? I need to know the details in order to formulate a plan.
An appropriate question, but not one I am able to answer. The warning I received was as cryptic as it was direct. It does not provide for a specific answer. Each era has its own trials and tribulations, for which we can only prepare to the best of our ability. It is certain, however, that you have been chosen because it believes that you have the ability to respond to the unknown.
I don't understand.
There is no hurry. We have time. Right now, there are other things we can talk about. This garb suits you, Federico. Makes all the cardinals bickering over the cut and color profile.
I didn't think that was a cardinal's duty.
Let's not be so strict. People can't help but focus on that which draws their interest. I've seen your resume, Federico. I can tell that you are an outstanding executor. The commandments do not bind your thoughts as they do others, huh?
Rules can be broken if necessary. At least that's what one kid with a bat told me once.
Of course, I can't bring myself to disagree. He came on a nice train. You judge matters by your own standards. That is why you always carry out your missions effectively, if somewhat unorthodoxly. I have a mission for you. I had intended on going myself, but there are other matters that require my attention. Now, I've found someone who can go in my stead. It will not be an easy task. Expect unexpected complications, the likes of which you have never seen. But I believe you are up to it. I want to see why he chose you. Will you go, Federico?
Executor Federico, ready for assignment. What is your command? Meanwhile,
what are you looking at, Arturia?
The flowers, Excellency. This is the only place in the monastery where they grow. I'm glad I made it in time for bloom season. It's a view worth savoring.
Clement would be happy to hear it. It has been a long time since anyone came to see the flowers that he cared for. They used to grow all around the Abbey. This is all that is left.
A shame. I understand there is a beautiful story behind them.
There was.
What about now?
Perhaps there still is, but my eyes have grown weak. Flowers are no longer pure enjoyment for me. I've grown too old, spent too much time here. Flowers cannot fill an empty stomach, just as your music can soothe pain, but not avert aging. I know things don't always go according to plan. Perhaps this was inevitable the moment our call for help reached Laterano. Now, only the bitter fruit remains.
Bitter fruit. Even the name itself leaves a bitterness on the tip of the tongue that does not go away. I rather like it, actually. Poor soil does not bear sweet fruit.
Poor soil. Yes, poor soil. But it's home for people like us. I thought we would find a better, more peaceful life. We had walls that protected us from wind and rain. We had faith unwavering. Our longing for a peaceful life won out over our longing for home. All that was left to find was a quiet corner of the world where we could live in peace. But now...
The old man's emaciated face twitches slightly. It is as though he is mustering the strength to tear apart that which threatens to crush him beneath his loose skin. His words are replaced by a string of coughs and gasps.
How many years has it been? 50? 60? More? When disaster came from the sea, when we rejected the Inquisition's demands and left Iberia to settle here, I've seen children born and then buried those same children. Life has become hard.
Life is always hard.
Yes, you're right. Look at the living. To where do they belong? I can't tell. Are they of Iberia or of Laterano? We've come too far in too long. Arturia. Am I still a Lateran after all these years?
Only you know the answer, Abbot Stefano. Torregrossa.
I hope I still am.
Then you are.
You spoke the truth, Arturia. There is no need to test me anymore.
A misunderstanding. I never intended to probe your secrets.
I permitted you to stay because these doors are open to all who bear no ill intentions. But I still don't know what you are seeking, Arturia.
What if I said I seek nothing? I take it you don't believe it. Then let me put it this way. Pay no heed to me. I promise I will not interfere with anything here, nor with your decisions. I'm simply a traveler, drawn to this place by the stories here, praying that the ending is a good one. Should I swear it on the name of my halo?
You're a cunning one, Arturia. But I believe your words.
The old man falls silent again. Do all who grow old grow dry and stiff? The lines on his face, once so beloved, now cast only lethargy. The eyes have become clouded by the decades that they have seen. The face should have been warmer, gentler, more Lateran.
The holy city never answered. All these years, but I never stopped praying. My faith taught me to love, to be kind. It did not teach me to abandon our brothers and sisters, our loyal friends. To abandon the few for the happiness of the many.
The devoted would call it a shameful betrayal. Do you?
I don't have that answer, Arturia. Where does the believer go if fate has betrayed itself?
Meanwhile,
Here's the stuff. Get it salted and dried quickly. It should last the winter.
I'll get someone on it. Gratias. This meat will buy us some time.
I'm sorry. Finding game was harder than I thought, with the weather getting colder.
Don't say that. Thanks to you, there will be meat on the table for the children tonight. Don't apologize.
Huh. Okay, forgot what I said. Make them something good for dinner.
I would love to, but we've got to ratio. Where's Hyman? She didn't get hurt, did she?
Don't worry, she's fine.
Really? Don't hide anything, okay? An injury is no small thing.
No problem. We'll come back if we do need anything. It's getting late. I should go.
Hey, Geralt, not to Frivia. Everyone's been talking about Laterano. They mean no harm, they're just a little anxious. Please don't mind it if someone lets something slip.
I understand.
I see. That's good. Yes.
Thanks for coming, Raymond. Let's go. We're not needed here. Is Simon back yet?
Haven't seen her all day. They will let a group out to look for her. I'll join them later. We have a scout team ready. We'll have concrete intel when they get back tonight.
Good. Carry on.
Brother Geralt, are you really going to accept things as they are right now?
Calm down, Raymond. You know we never had a choice.
So we're compromising? What are we? What have all these years been for? What's the difference between us and them? We're just...
Raymond! That's enough.
But...
No buts. I know you don't like it, Raymond. There's still time. If there's someone you want to see, go and see them.
Eating. Ingestion of food for the organism's survival. It is the basis of life and the fundamental instinct of all animals. Eat, digest, metabolize. Activities for the sake of survival. The most legitimate desire there is. I wanted to try to persuade you, but now it is not really the time. You're weak. Too many things interfere with our thoughts, warp our judgment, preventing us from following the guidance of our faith. You can no longer hear me, can you? There is no answer. The priest's voice mixes with a strange sound echoing throughout the underground space. The sound of eating. The sound of ripping food apart and swallowing it. Life that has lost its original form grows in the shadows. It's almost winter. The sun has become a rare sight. This building is like a remote island. It has held out long enough. It can no longer hold out. See the gaps in the walls where the drought comes through. There is little fuel left. Many will suffer in the cold without winter supplies. Of course, we're not entirely helpless. There are a couple of small originium veins nearby, aren't there? Originium can be mined there for energy generation, as you have done for many years. But it's dangerous. Everyone knows the risk of oripathy infection. Who would take such a risk if they had a choice? Oripathy is a death sentence on an island like this.
You left your homes and came here. You accepted the most dangerous jobs in order to find a place to call your new home. You're an indispensable part of this abbey. You still can hear me, can you?
The devouring shadow does not respond back.
I must admit, I feel a little sad.
Meanwhile, close by,
Hello? Anyone? Any... Oh! What's with all the broken glass?
Fortuna, good timing. Give me a hand with this window frame, will you? The wind broke the window. I'm trying to plug it up.
No problem. Didn't we fix this a couple of days ago? I remember my teeth chattering in the cold while listening to Father Stefano's sermon. Should I get some tape?
I'm afraid tape won't do. The pieces are all over the place, and I don't think I can put it back. Sorry.
My apologies to me. Petrus, Clemon, it's not your fault.
very quickly here, once again, Petrus is not the word you might expect it to be in English. At first glance, I thought myself it would be father or priest, something among those lines, but it is actually, once again, this is Latin, it is actually uncle. So, Uncle Clemon. Anyway, continuing.
What should we do? Find something to block it up? The wind's rather cold. Should I find some unused fabric?
Don't waste it. Save it for clothes. It's getting cold. There should be some planks left from when Geralt took those old houses apart. I'll go look for them. That will do it for the frame. Thanks, Fortuna. What were you here for, anyway?
Oh, I wanted to see if there's anything to eat because I missed lunch. It's all Fina's fault. What's my fault? Fina! What are you doing here? Listening to you talk behind my back. I'm just telling it like it is. That wouldn't have taken so long if you didn't keep going on and on about it. It's because you were dumb enough to get scammed. I told you to be careful of Lemuen. She's been talking to everyone, pretending to care. Who knows what she's really after? You've been absent-minded lately. Did she say something to you? No, no one said anything to me. I'm not being absent-minded. Yes, you are. We're all Sancta, Tuna. You can't fool me. So is Lemuen. You know she has no ill intentions. Why won't you trust her? Why do you hate people from Laterano so much? We were Laterans too, weren't we? Father Stefano says we can go back soon. Why did we lock up the Lateran emissaries? Why don't we go back? Because Raymond and the others can't go with us. Isn't that reason enough? You want to leave them behind? Well, I don't. That's not what I mean. Then what do you mean?
Enough. The Abbot has his reasons. Say no more. I'll find some planks to board up the window. You two, calm down.
Can't you sense my thoughts, Fina? I can, Tuna. But never mind. I lost my cool. I know that wasn't what you meant. I was wrong too. You always have that gun with you. You got it from your dad, right? I thought it didn't work anymore. It doesn't. Maybe it's a parts problem, and I don't know how to use a gun myself. But I'm not carrying it to use it anyway. I always thought it was a decorative accessory. Partially. Holding the gun like this is like praying. That's what Dad said when he gave it to me. He said it was a Sancta practice. I don't know about any practices like that. My grandma's gun is in a canyon. We can share, Fina. I'll try to get it fixed, then we can use it together. Now, let us pray.
pay close attention to the screen in a moment.
The plank should be here somewhere.
Aha, there. That should be enough. I could fix the outside windows too if there are any leftovers. And fuel... not much left. Hmm? Who goes there?
No one?
Am I seeing things? The terrain is so strange. Do you still call this a desert? There's a canyon below. Mind your step.
I never knew you were such a gentleman, Richele.
Nothing good ever happens comes from you complimenting me.
Don't be so uptight. Your bank account is safe this time. Is that the nomadic Abbey we're looking for?
I think so.
What do we do? Knock on the front door? You think someone will answer?
What do you think, Federico? Approach. Roger. Should we do a quick briefing first? Target building has been identified. It is a large mobile complex built jointly by Abbey and Laterano in 1011. Official name, Sanctilaminium Ambrosii. Very quickly here, to dissect this name, because it does bear a bit of meaning here. First and foremost, Ambrosii is just the name of the mobile abbey here. But the first part of the name, Sanctilaminium, is two, or rather is a word and a name simply put into a single new name, or designation rather. The first part of it is very simple, it's Sanctus, aka holy. The second one is an actual name, which is Laminium. Laminium is the name of an actual fortified city from real history in Iberia, back around Roman Empire times, I think, if I found out correctly. I don't remember the year or whatever the hell was written on the wiki page, but it is an actual place that actually existed, yeah, the more you know. Anyway, continuing. Originally controlled by Iberia, it disappeared after straying from its route 61 years ago. Laterano received a request for help from the Abbey one month ago, and sent 2 nuncios to investigate. Again, don't want to stop, but nuncio is the actual Spanish word for messenger. The Latin word would be nuncio.
Straightforward enough up to this point. So, how did we end up losing contact with our nuncios and bringing in big guns like you two?
My mission is to discover the whereabouts of Cardinal ID Lemuen and legatus Oren Argiolas, and to guarantee their safety. I am also to ensure that the Abbey is able to function normally and avoid casualties. So, His Holiness wants you take it easy?
Well, I signed up for Lemuen. I couldn't care less what happens to Oren.
Your personal feelings are irrelevant. Target status is unclear, and we are unable to determine if the inhabitants of the building are hostile. What do we do then? Infiltrate and investigate? No. I suggest we take the most direct path and finish this quickly. If they are deceased, I will return their bones to Laterano. Alright, and we continue on to our training stage, which obviously we will not be doing anything around it or playing it. We will just include the title and the description and the enemies. The title being Time to Pray. Only through introspective prayer can one's mind be freed from panic. And when it comes to enemies that are introduced here, our first one is the Gnaw Beast. Oh, and before we do anything, with this update, they also updated the whole enemy description page here, and it looks very nice and clean. I like it. Anyway, it says here, an infected creature that appears in dark places. It has a high reproductive capacity and can be commonly found everywhere. The endless usage of its host's food stocks makes it an unwelcome house guest. AKA Arknights rats. Congratulations, we are there. We have rats now. Anyway, our second unit on the field here is the monastery inhabitant, a civilian unit. And it says, a civilian sheltering in a monastery, treating the place as home. Simple and feeble, yet they strive to live. Yearning for spiritual sustenance, they pursue their faith, but are easily provoked into rushing around blindly. And we continue on to our first proper stage, titled Home Sweet Home. Before this place became a den for infected creatures, it was once a magnificent building with towering eaves. So let's begin. It was autumn at the time, and I was trekking through the barren wastes with a few Iberians who were fleeing their homeland. Just when we thought we were going to meet our ends there, the Abbey appeared in front of us. It seemed like some sort of miracle, an act of divine intervention that couldn't be real. The venerable abbot, Bishop Torregrossa, took in those people who had nowhere to go. He was a respectable elder, most pious and devout in his ways. Under his management, this monastery, cut off from the rest of the land by the wilderness, became its own fantastical domain of sorts. Here, people whose lives would normally never intertwine lived in harmony, depending on one another. They lived in material poverty, but not spiritual poverty, making no distinction between class, all putting their best feet forward to live life.
I knew it. This handwriting.
When I made my request, the abbot replied to me after an extended silence, saying that while he would not refuse aid to those in need, there was not much he could do, because of my distance. Maybe because I wasn't expecting much in the first place, I didn't feel too bad about being turned down. If anything, he seemed to be more guilty and chagrined about turning down my unreasonable request than the person who made it in the first place. I am deeply gratified that there exists such a paradise for good people, but at the same time I could not help but raise this one question. Can this miracle, like a seed that refuses to adapt to the soil it is grown in, truly persist on this land? Maybe I've been here a bit too long. It's about time I set out again, to Laterano.
People whose lives would normally never intertwine, making no distinction between class. Yes, when I first saw the scene, I also adopted my eyes a bit. If I was speaking just for myself, I'd really hope this place, rare as it is, could last forever. Come in. Are you busy, Senora Lemuen? Remember that pattern you were talking about earlier? Some of the others tried embroidering it into a quilt with me. How do you think it turned out? Let's see. An excellent craftsmanship. It wouldn't surprise me to find it on display in a store. You're exaggerating. Now that it's getting colder, the blankets you have with you might not be enough to keep you warm, so everyone pitched in some fabric. I appreciate the concern, but if you give it to me, the others might not have enough. You should think about them first. I know how I look, but I'm actually plenty tough. I don't get sick easily. Don't worry about us. As long as everyone chips in, it's not a big deal. But I must say, I'm not sure tough is what comes to mind when I look at you. What's Laterano thinking these days, sending you so far away? Well, about that... It's a question I'd like to ask my superiors.
Quick flashback.
Why don't we go back? Because Raymond and the others can't go with us. Isn't that reason enough? You want to leave them behind? Well, I don't. Stupid Fina, do you really think I'm that cold-blooded? Of course I'm not going to leave behind the people I grew up with. But we can just stay stuck like this forever. We can't just stay stuck like this forever either. Tempers have really been high lately. Is there no better solution?
What's wrong? What are you sighing for this time? That's odd. Why are you here by yourself? Delfina's not with you?
Raymond! What's that supposed to mean? It's not like Delfina and I are stuck together.
You might as well be. You're close enough. Just one step from sharing a bed.
We do sleep together sometimes, though. Hey, wait, that's not the point. When do you get back anyway? I heard you went hunting with Signor Geralt. Any luck? Didn't get hurt, did you? Make sure you let us know if you ever do get hurt. Don't be like Signor Geralt, who just toughs it out by himself.
I'm fine. I don't need you worrying over me for no reason.
For no reason? Who's the one who said nothing until his wounds got inflamed? And who's the one who went down into the mines without permission and barely made it back? You...
I know. Let's just say it was my fault, okay?
Huh? Let's just say...
It was my fault. Fortuna.
Yes.
Actually, I came back because I wanted to ask you, and Delfina, and of course the others as well. I wanted to ask you if you wanted to come with us. The young man stopped speaking halfway through. He suddenly falls silent.
Raymond?
Never mind. It's no big deal. I need to leave for a bit, and might not be back until late. Fortuna, can you come to the roof of the Sacrarium before dinner?
Very quickly here. Sacrarium. Sanctuary.
Bring Delfina with you too. There is something I need to tell you too.
Meanwhile, on the outside.
Let me take a look. What's going on here? They even built a road by the monastery. It stretches all the way to the edge of the city. Is it really so cramped inside? I personally think it's plenty spacious.
Are there so many people here? It must be tough feeding a crowd that big, especially out in the barrens. See for yourself. Someone's coming.
Oh, someone just walked out. Should be one of the residents.
Where did Hyman run off to?
Oh, Salvus sis, haughty with a hidden face.
Very quickly here, the Salvus Sis is basically a greeting. Clearly, or rather pretty plainly translated, is just be safe.
Who's there? Hello, you're Sancta. I don't care who you people are or what you're after, but you're not coming any closer.
Let's not jump right to drawing swords and crossbows. We only just met. Why don't we take a deep breath and talk things through? Good afternoon, senor. The three of us here are from Laterano without any ill intent. No need to be so tense. I'd be pleased as punch if you'd lower your weapon.
We'll bring some Laterans all the way out to these remote mountains.
We were sent by His Holiness in search of two compatriots.
You're wasting your time, Richele. It is clear to me that he knows exactly who we are and why we have come. He has hostile intent. You clearly have strong animosity towards Laterano, judging from the displeasure on your face. From where does your hostility come? I have no idea what you're talking about. You've been standing by the entrance to the side alleys this whole time. You're deliberately trying to block our view. You don't want our attention there. So, what is in there? Who do you think you are?
Alright, Federico, there is no need to provoke the other side. Though I'm sure that wasn't your intention. You haven't forgotten the mission His Holiness gave us, right? Low-key, low-key. We can't afford to make a mess of things again. I wasn't trying to provoke anyone.
You Laterans are always like this, showing up out of nowhere and making a mess out of everything.
Given the information we have, your situation wasn't looking good to begin with.
I dare you say that again? Wanna fight? Come on, I'll show you!
The air is awfully tense over there. Federico's that way of drawing attention, and that makes light work of burglary. But that hooded guy over there, something's not right here. Forget it, I'll figure out that math later. First I need to find our target. Let me guess where you might be, Lemuen.
Meanwhile,
looks like no shortage of guests today. Hello, Signor Geralt.
I thought I'd get to see Stefano here.
His Excellency still has a lot of business to attend to. He just left. He can't have gotten very far, so given your athleticism, I'm sure you could catch up to him.
Thanks. I haven't heard you hitting the strings today.
If you enjoy the sound of my music, I don't mind playing something for you right now.
I'll pass. I'm very grateful for the joy you've been able to bring some of our people. But not everyone finds comfort in your music. At least I don't. I can't imagine why a musician like you chooses to remain here, but I do hope you won't bring disaster upon us.
You think too highly of me. As far as I know, disasters have always been buried in the soil, from whence they take root, sprout, blossom, and bear fruit. If such a seed exists in this garden, it will break through the soil sooner or later. And I am simply a passerby, watching it all unfold.
We have no seeds that ought to not sprout. Before long, everything will return to normal. There will be no accidents, let alone disasters. All I ask, young lady, is that you don't do anything unnecessary.
Are you giving advice?
No. I'm giving you a warning.
Such roundabout, insensitive words. Though I suppose the fact that you haven't done anything means you're holding back. Right. I suppose that's to be expected given the circumstances. Oh my. Pretty. Ma'am. Indeed, no shortage of guests today. Please, come in, my unexpected little visitors. My name is Arturia. Would you mind telling me yours?
Okay, stop talking like that, Federico. I didn't say anything wrong. Just stay quiet for now, alright? And you, young man, let's not do anything rash. We really are just looking for one of our missing colleagues, and whoever you might be, we mean you no harm.
You sure can talk.
That bruiser of yours means me no harm. Well, you have my word. Either way, could you please let us through? If you could tell the man in charge we're here, that would be ideal. Serpilia... huh? Where did Serpilia go? She's already inside.
Huh? But when she...
Just now.
I can't let you Laterans run rockshot. Aren't you here to see the Abbot? Come with me.
Great. Does that mean you're letting us in?
A warning first. Running off like that woman.
Oh no. Hurry, someone!
Clement? What's wrong? What happened?
Thank goodness, Raymond. Let the others know.
A raid?
Yeah, that's right. Raymond, who are these two?
Don't worry about them. What's going on?
Oh, right. It's terrible. I was repairing the windows just now when I saw something moving in the distance. The band of robbers from before, they're back. Alright, and very quickly before we now go into the second part, we have one new enemy here to add very quickly. And that is the Vesper Wing, an infected creature that appears in dark places, often found in deep caves and abandoned buildings. It is easily startled and will not hesitate to attack intruders who enter its territory. AKA it's a bat. We have rats and bats. Anyway, continuing with the second part.
Raymond's acting all shifty. What is it he can't tell me right now? Something that has to wait until after dark? I don't get it, but whatever. He can do his own thing. It's already so late, I'm only now bringing the food over. Senora Lemuen must be starving by now, and these portions are tiny. Be patient, stomach. Stop growling already. Didn't you eat just a minute ago? I really hope I can feast one day, just eat all I want without worry. Who's there? I know you're here. Who are you? Who's hiding over there? Even if you keep quiet, I already saw you. You aren't from the Abbey. Come out. If you don't, I'm gonna call the others over. I'm gonna pull the trigger. Alright, I'm coming out. Huh, guess I messed up. You sure have sharp eyes. Was it the light from my wings? I knew it. It's way too easy to pick out a Sancta, what with everyone having different wings and halos. Good grief. And here I was thinking I wouldn't need to be all that sneaky. I've never seen you before. Who are you? Okay, Senora, let's put the gun down first. That isn't something a nice girl should be pointing at her own kind. You're a Sancta too. You can feel I don't have anything against you. I guess you can call me a justice bringer this time. Yeah, something like that, since I'm here to save people and all. Fine, if you don't want to talk, I'm going to call for help. Whoa. Settle down there. Let go of me! Sure, but you'd better not scream. Sorry, didn't do a good job controlling my strength there. Are you alright? Who exactly are you? And what are you after? It's nothing I can't tell you. I'm looking for someone. Another Sancta just like me. Pink hair, probably still in a wheelchair. She's got a kind and gentle look to her, but her personality is actually anything but... Is she talking about Lemuen? That look on your face tells me you know who I'm talking about. My lucky day. The food you just brought over. Who's it for? I've got a feeling you're taking it to Lemuen, right? How did she know? Looks like I'm right on the money again. You really need to work on your poker face. So, would you mind telling me how Senora Lemuen has been doing? You'd prefer not to say, huh? Or are you not allowed to? You're hesitating and a bit scared. Stop it! Stop making things up! Am I making things up? I guess you'd know. You seem to have a lot on your mind, which feels a little odd. How could a cloistered place like this have so much trouble? Where is all this coming from? Are you getting into fights because there aren't many of your own kind here? That's none of your business, isn't it? Are you saying that because the patron firearm you're holding hasn't been maintained in a while? Because it's rusting? I don't mind helping you out with that. I'm pretty good at gun repair. So why don't we do a little trade? You just tell me where Lemuen is. That's all. Why not tell me? I bet you already have an idea of who I am, right? You look pretty smart to me. Did Laterano send you too? Like Senora Lemuen? I was. That's enough small talk now. I'm a bit short on time. You're really not gonna tell me where Lemuen is? Well, if that's how it is, that's how it is. Say... Let me take care of delivering the food for you. That's that then. Vale.
And very quickly, vale. Goodbye. Last one. That should wrap things up. These people are bandits. They sure know how to make a ruckus. Federico, how are things on your end? I heard a whole bunch of commotion over there. You didn't blow up any buildings, did you? I did not. Great, well done. I'm just wrapping up over here as well. Thank you so much. You two are incredible. That should teach the robbers to behave themselves for a while. It sounds like this isn't the first time you've been attacked, is it? How often does this sort of thing come up? If you came from Laterano, you must know how difficult it is to travel these roads. If we didn't have a ride, it wouldn't have been it would have been... Pardon? There's a lot of typos in this whole section here, so if I stumble, apologies. If we didn't have a ride, we wouldn't have been able to get here so easily. Nobody wants to hang around a place like this, except the truly desperate. As you saw, there's nothing out here in these barren lands except this monastery. Once these thugs set their sights on us, do you expect them to give up? He's right. Now that it's almost winter, they'll be coming more often. That reminds me, didn't Benny hurt his leg last time? How's he doing? He's still got a bit of a limp. Only option is to tough it out. By the way, who are these two? We're, I suppose you can call us emissaries from Laterano. Guests from Laterano, how are you called? Executor Federico, of the Laterano Notarial Hall. Executor Richele. We have another colleague with us, but she's already one step ahead. Senor Federico, Senor Richele. You don't seem surprised. Sure, we knew it was only a matter of time before Laterano sent another. The only question is what kind of guests we would be getting. I thought... The tall, thin and frail middle-aged man subconsciously glances at the guns in the hands of the two Lateran visitors. I thought the next time they sent someone it would be... to hand down charges. Charges? What crimes have you committed? Under the Notarial Hall's purview, most criminals see a reduced sentence upon surrendering themselves and obtaining the forgiveness of the wronged. Surrender? Sentence? Huh? What are you talking about? Hold on, Federico. We don't have a handle on the situation yet. Let's not worry about that until we find Lemuen and Oren. Sorry, we'd like to talk to the man in charge here. Do you think you could arrange that for us? Yes, give me a second. I'll go... No need. Thank you for your assistance. I would be the man you're looking for. Sorry, I was one step too late. Your Excellency, and Geralt. Brother Geralt. Would you be the most revered abbot of this monastery? And this, Senor Geralt, is he also a community leader? No.
He is not. True enough, I am no such important person. I realize you must have many questions. Please, come, let us find a more suitable place to talk. Glemon, please close the gate and don't let anyone approach, for the time being.
But, Your Excellency...
I'll be here. Raymond, you keep at it.
Alright, be careful out there, brother. Then I'll be waiting for you at the door. If you need anything, feel free to call for me.
Alright, no one will disturb us. I am the bishop here, Stefano Torregrossa, and I also serve as abbot of this monastery. It is a pity that you two came such long way, only to find our hospitality so lacking.
We have no need for meaningless pleasantries. Under the power vested in us by His Holiness Pope Evangelista XI, my colleagues and I came to locate two Lateran nuncios. I ask, where are Lemuen and Oren Nargiolas?
I suppose I have no choice but to tell you. Senora Lemuen is currently a guest of our monastery. But do not worry, we would never mistreat our guest, and her safety is assured.
What about Oren Nargiolas?
The whereabouts of Senor Oren is actually what I wanted to ask you. Is it not the case that you arrived so quickly because he contacted the Lateran?
What? Senor, I'm afraid your statement is inconsistent with our intelligence. It is our understanding that Sanctilaminium Ambrosii sent a distress message to Laterano. We dispatched two nuncios in response, and lost contact with both of them. And so His Holiness sent us to find our people and investigate the situation. Does any of that conflict with what you know?
We were unable to retain Senor Oren.
By that you mean you weren't able to keep Oren restrained.
You can say that again. He was on the edge the whole time. While inviting Senora Lemuen to remain a guest, he took advantage of the distraction and slipped out. We don't know what happened to him after that.
Federico.
Yes?
Oren escaped but hasn't shown himself or contacted us. Does that ring any alarm bells for you?
Yes.
You could add a little more than just yes. And my becloaked friend, I can't imagine any of the ordinary residents here would be quite so in the know. Who exactly are you?
Think of me as the hunter here, or maybe a bodyguard. No need to worry about me.
Alright then, we'll just run with that for now. Set Oren aside for now. We demand a reasonable explanation for Senora Lemuen's circumstances. Why would a monastery need to restrict the movements of a Lateran nuncio who came to offer aid? Your answer will determine our subsequent actions.
Considering you are both Lateran emissaries, you should already be familiar with this monastery's history.
Our knowledge is limited to the information in the mission briefing.
Over a decade ago, we entered the wastes to avoid a catastrophe. Ran out of fuel, and the monastery has been trapped here ever since. Unable to communicate with the outside world, all we could do was try to farm for ourselves. But the soil in these parts is mostly fallow, and not much food grows these days. That's not all. The beasts that wander the barrens and robbers, even more vicious than beasts, all pose grave threats. We never had much choice.
So you decided to take in vagrants wandering the wastes.
Take in is far too generous a term. No, we did not such acts of charity. We were merely accepting people who had no home to return to. There are many reasons a person can become uprooted, and we did nothing more than offer them a new place to stay. Stefano. A point of clarification. There's one thing I'd like to ascertain.
Whoa, Federico, what are you...
Hey, don't! Reverend Executor, this is most unusual.
I'm finished. You really just went for it. But this is definitely something. Your Excellency, can I ask you to explain what's going on here? In the heart of a Lateran monastery, why have we found the Sarkaz?
Well, I guess that's that.
I apologize if you find this offensive. But what are you doing here?
I already told you, I'm just a hunter. Geralt the Hunter. And no, not of Rivia. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you believe me.
And we continue on to the next stage. Stage number 2, titled River of Life. How can we pave the way for life in this desolate wasteland?
In a place far, far away, there once was a village where the people led happy lives. Some built homes to shelter the others from the elements, some reclaimed farmland. Others set out to hunt, search for ores, and at the same time fought back scoundrels who would take the village for themselves. No concept of ego existed among those villagers, no difference between self and other. No one could survive without the rest. They lived together in that small village and called it home. But nothing good lasts forever. The soil yielded less and less, hunting became more and more difficult, and as food dwindled, stomachs grumbled in hunger. The cold months crept closer and closer, but there was not enough fuel for heat. Something had to be done about this, and so everyone said this must be a trial given to us by the Lord, and we must pray for forgiveness. Just at that time, a group of well-meaning people came by, and upon seeing the plight of the village, spoke to the head of the villagers. "Come live with us in our city. But we can only bring those who are most like us. Come and enjoy a better life. All you need to do is leave a few of you behind." "I don't like this story, Senora Arturia." Why not?" "Starving is really bad. It hurts." "Yeah, it's bad, and so is leaving your friends behind." "Yes, that is a very correct idea of collectivism, with a little bit of heroism mixed in, or even romanticism. Romantic stories do have ways of stirring the heart, but it is exactly that romanticism and high-mindedness that is a way of confounding others. Naturally, neither you nor I are immune." Big words. I don't get it at all." "You're talking like a weirdo again, Senora Arturia." "Oh no, I'm sorry. That was my mistake. Let's go with a different story then. What would you like to hear?" "I want to hear a hero story." "You all want to become heroes?" "I want to be a great hero, just like Mama." "Wow, your Mama sounds amazing." Be good now, and give me just a moment.
Before I continue, hey look guys, it's blue-haired Eisen. For those of you who get it, enjoy. For those of you who don't get it, go and watch Bleach. What are you doing? Anyway.
I seem to have caught you at a bad time. Am I interrupting you, Arturia?
You ask, despite me already knowing. Most Reverend Bishop Aulus.
Apologies. It was not my intent to displease you. I merely came to bid you farewell. Owing to the addition of an unexpected traveling companion, I plan to leave as soon as possible and escort my companion back home.
Allow me to offer a prayer for this pitiful soul.
I'm not trying to fight with you here. Especially not in front of the children. However, pitiful should never be used to describe one's resolve to live.
Resolve. Resolve. The amount of control we have over our own lives is often not as perfect as we believe it to be, and no one is ever the wiser until proven otherwise. Think of things that one must never do. They are often already done by the time their senses return to them. Does the act of blame contradict the heart's inner desires? Who is it to say that our so-called resolve is not just a coping mechanism used to deceive ourselves? At times like these, where are our truest emotions and intentions hidden? When will the day come that one's thoughts, emotions, and actions can truly be unified? Is this not the point of your inquiry, sir? It seems that today is in which a great many things will unfold. I hear a commotion outside, as if some acquaintances have come knocking. If I were you, Bishop Aulus, I would not be in such a hurry to leave just yet. Sorry to keep you waiting.
You took forever, Signorina Arturia.
So slow. Please forgive me. Why don't you tell an extra spectacular story to make up for it? Do you want to hear a story of a grand battle between heroes and villains?
I do.
Alright, then you must listen carefully. A long, long time ago, in a faraway castle, there lived a young boy. The boy didn't express much emotion and rarely spoke, but he was incredibly fierce in a fight.
I told you I'm just a hunter. If that's not enough to satisfy you, then I don't mind trying something else. I'm just an ordinary, roughly middle-aged Sarkaz. I do not believe that is the entire truth. That weapon behind you, you carry it always. You actively conceal your movements, which is a mercenary's habit. That's for self-defense. You saw it yourself. Those bandits are always raiding us. Things aren't so peaceful here. That does not explain why you have a mercenary's habit. I've got farm equipment in my hands more often than weapons these days. I hunt for a living here. Sometimes I work in the fields or in the mines when I have to. No need to get all excited about these old hands of mine. I'm just an ordinary guy, bound up by life. Federico, stay mindful of our mission here. I don't think now's the time to be chasing hypotheticals. A reasonable determination. Would Your Excellency mind explaining the situation? Sorry to bring your trouble, Stefano. No, you have nothing to apologize for, Geralt. As the two of you might surmise. Over a decade ago, Geralt brought a small group of Sarkaz to the monastery. At the time, they were stranded in the barrens without food or ammunition. When they found our monastery, they had no choice but to try to make contact.
You didn't expel them, so they chose to settle here.
Is there a difference between driving out those who've been cornered and driving them into a corner yourself?
I guess that makes sense.
At first, not everyone was accepting of our new neighbors. But ruthless hatred and prejudice have no purchase when survival is at stake. We provided a place for these people to stay, and in turn they helped us deal with our own problems. Our food shortage, the bandit threat, and our gradually depleting energy supply. They relied on us, so we also relied on them.
But you still chose to send messengers to contact Laterano.
A choice made in the absence of choice. Laterano is willing to provide us with assistance, and is also willing to welcome us back in. However, even Lemuen, the nuncio willing to grant us the most concessions, still had one non-negotiable condition. Sarkaz have no place in paradise. No place? Why? On the basis of race alone, just because they are Sarkaz? How are they any different from us? Without these stalwart brothers and sisters, we would have lost our fight for survival long ago. Where was Laterano during all that time we were supporting each other? So let me beg the two of you to once again plead to the wisdom of His Holiness the Pope and to your faith.
The haggard old man raises both his hands. He both appears to be holding up his faith as well as crumbling beneath its overwhelming weight. The Sancta's faith is formless, intangible, nowhere to be found. His fingers grasp for the halo above his head and wane, the old man's hands gradually slipping until they cover his face. What Lemuen said is correct. There will not be Sarkaz in Laterano. Nor will Laterano allow any Sarkaz through her gates. Hey, Federico, you don't have to be so blunt. This is a fact.
Enough, Stefano. Already told you. We can accept it. You go to Laterano, and we'll find a place to start over. That nuncio, Lemuen, promised us some support. But in name, we have to go our separate ways. It's always been a fact. The fact that they even offered us that much is already more than expected. It's more than enough. No, it shouldn't be a fact. It's certainly not enough. Don't get it. That we even nominally have to go our separate ways only makes this all the more ridiculous. Sorry, Stefano. We've given up. What? What do you mean? What I mean is, you don't have to subject yourself to all this, just for our sake. You don't need to be so hard on yourself. I've talked to the others. We've decided. We're leaving. What are you saying? I assume that settles things, Reverend Executors. We'll leave. This just means letting go of a group of destitute refugees. You can do that, right? The notarial hole does not harm innocent civilians. I'm glad. Really, Federico? I do not lie. How should I put this? Well, whatever. You're leading this operation, so if that's what you've decided, I don't object. I swear to you, a Sarkaz has never been in a Lateran sacrarium. That in itself does not constitute a crime. Really now?
How should I say this? There's actually no explicit prohibition on it. Bishop Stefano Torregrossa, I will continue to pursue the whereabouts of Oren Argiolas, based on your testimony. May I take it that you've accepted the conditions put forth by the Lateran, that all monastery residents, with the exception of the Sarkaz, will be resettled in Laterano at a later date? If you remain silent, I will interpret that as your tacit consent. Stefano. Time. What? I need a bit more time. I would finish my final sermon and spend one last night here. Please, give me just a bit more time at the very end. I will give you an answer after Matins tomorrow. What do you think, Federico? Fine. Now I wish to meet with Cardinal Lemuen. Senora Lemuen is our guest. Of course you may visit her if you wish. Understood. In that case, we will take our leave. Hey, wait a second. At least say something first, Federico. Am I still holding on to some of my old merc habits? Looks like even after all these years, some habits die hard. Geralt, are you absolutely certain of this? Sure, Stefano. You know I wouldn't joke around with this stuff. We're all bound by the need to survive. What you said was no lie.
Anyone home? I brought you winter clothes. Huh, that's weird. Where is everybody today? Fina, what are you doing standing around here? Oh, Caroline, perfect timing. I came by to drop off everyone's winter clothes. But there's something going on. I have been walking around all day and haven't seen a soul. What are you all busy with? We have some stuff to take care of. Thanks for coming all the way out here, but we're fine with what we have. We already have enough winter coats, so can you take these back? Also, tell the others not to worry about us. What are you talking about? When in the last few years have any of us had enough to get through the winter? Aren't you still wearing that light coat, Caroline? The temperature is going to drop pretty soon, so we need to get you into something a bit thicker. Fina, is something wrong? What's that in your hand? Oh, it's nothing, just some hardtack. No, let me see. Hey, wait!
The Sancta girl reaches out to snatch the supposed hardtack from behind the other girl's back. Almost instinctively, she splits the dry, hard thing down the middle, before she is pushed away. Stuffed inside the hardtack are truths hidden away all this time, finally exposed to her eyes.
What is this? Bran and sawdust? Caroline, didn't you say you had more than enough food? Then why are you eating this? No, Fina, listen to me. We were just... Just what? Talk to me, Caroline. Tell me, what depths have we stooped to these days?
Knock. Knock. Knock knock. Knock knock knock. The sound of knuckles rapping at the door. The door isn't actually locked, but the guests outside still continue to knock and wait for a response. This used to be a secret code agreed upon by several friends from school. So much time has passed that Lemuen thought she forgot, but the facts prove that she has not forgotten. The meaning of the code words tapped by the guests is rescue successful and first arrival.
Come in. Salve, room service. Gratias, please put the food over there on the table. Do you need a tip? You can't just ask if you need a tip. It's gotta come from the heart, right? I guess you have a point. You don't seem surprised at all, Lemuen. Are you disappointed that it's me? Of course not. The fact that you're here means news of this place has already reached Laterano, right? Well, more or less. That Oren guy actually left you behind and ran off by himself. When I get back, I'm going to tell Mustima and Fiammetta. Cut him some slack, won't you? Boo. Alright then, back to business. I know His Holiness wouldn't send you here alone, which means I need you to report your mission, as well as who's with you. Switch to your business voice, huh? Alright then, Cardinal Lemuen. This mission was commissioned directly by His Holiness and is led by Federico, Executor of the Notarial Hall. The other functionary is Richele Colombo, another executor who volunteered to come. Our first objective is to locate you and Oren, and the second is to investigate this monastery. Alright, Federico also has another mission to maintain order. Unfortunately, I think His Holiness picked the wrong guy for the job this time. And that concludes my report. I see. So His Holiness actually sent that Federico, huh? Okay, I get the gist of things. Gratias, Ria. Again with the nicknames. Come on, you should know better. So, what are you going to do next? On the surface, it looks like your movements are being restricted, but in fact, it's you who doesn't want to leave, right? If you wanted to leave, nobody here could stop you. My legs aren't fully healed yet. Like that makes a difference. You trust me too much, Ria. Though I suppose that's fine. Alright. It's true that I decided to stay behind. If Federico is trying to arrest the bishop here on charges of false imprisonment, I'd appreciate it if you could clear up the situation for me. Also, sorry, but I don't plan on leaving just yet. Mind if I ask why? The reason... Let's just say that diplomacy isn't something that can be settled with guns and bullets alone. When it comes to a shootout, the odds are always in my favor, but if I have to sit down for a negotiation, I need to tread carefully, or I might end up persuaded by the other party. It just so happens that I get along quite well with the residents here, so I want to see who ends up changing their minds first. Oh, when you put it that way, it sounds like you plan on compromising. Back in school, you watched me for an entire year just to make sure I showed up in class. I thought it'd be a shame if you couldn't get your diploma for attendance reasons. As for the problem we have here, I still have a friendly attitude at least. Right. I knew Oren would report the situation here, which is why I chose to stay behind. I've had a bad feeling about it, and I don't want to provoke the bishop any further. With all the information I have on the monastery now, if there ever arises another opportunity to sit down at a negotiation table, I might be able to get him to relax a little and accept my proposal. I thought you'd say as much. I'm glad you understand. That's not what I said. But that's what you were thinking. I kinda hate empathy sometimes. No, don't talk like that. How much do you know about the situation here? Enough. Nothing special about it, other than the group of Sarkaz. Did you know they sent a total of 3 messengers? Leah? What? I had the impression that you've never liked field missions. What made you sign up for this one? Maybe that I wanted to see you? Liar, liar. Anyway, I'll find the others and explain your situation first. But to be entirely honest, I don't think what you're doing here is going to accomplish anything. It's worth a shot. You're getting scarier and scarier, Lemuen. Not like it matters, though.
Finally mustered the means to reach out to me. You'd have thought you'd abandon the mission after seeing Lemuen.
Who knows? Might not work out.
No joke, please. Spare me.
You brought it up. Alright, I don't have time to chat either. Let's talk business. Phew, dealing with guys like him really wears you down. What a pain in the ass, this mission. Never would have taken it if I knew. Who's there? Whoa, didn't think you'd actually follow me, girlie. I can't have you running around the monastery by yourself. I need to keep an eye on you to make sure you don't do anything bad. And there's also a favor I'd like to ask of you, and of course I'll pay you back for it. Let's see. Flour, eggs, and where's the leftover sugar from last time? I've been trying so hard to scrunch up leftover ingredients from dinner every day. So why is there still so little? I need enough for Serpilia, Abbot Stefano, Fina, and Raymond, and also Patrus Geralt, Patrus Clement, Signora Caroline, and... that's not going to be enough, though. Tuna? I'm coming in, okay? There's something I have to tell you. What are you doing in here? Oh, Fina, I was just about to go look for you. Do you still remember where, when I helped Amita Nina with farm work for a month? Where did I put that bit of white sugar I got in return? How long ago was that? Where are you going now? What do you need sugar for, and where do you get all these cooking ingredients? Wait, Tuna, don't tell me you're still trying to bake sweets at a time like this? Fina, what's wrong? Are you mad at me? I wasn't trying to hide food from you. I just wanted to prepare a surprise for everyone. Fina, don't be mad at me, okay? I promise you'll be the first to have some after I'm done. Tuna, you... Forget it. Just put those things down. Now's not the time to be doing stuff like this. Huh? But what? But I promised someone I'd make her pizzella as a gift. A gift? Yeah, she helped me fix up my patron firearm, so I have to thank her. It's like a miracle, Fina. Once this gun got fixed, I felt something different about it. Just holding it in my hands, it's like I knew how to use it from birth. Look, it's even prettier now, and the two of us will be able to use it together from now on. You know what, Tuna? I actually never cared that much about my own firearm, or the Abbot Stefano's sermons. I don't even care that I've never seen Laterano. Huh? Fina, what are you talking about? Can I even really be called a Sancta? Maybe I can, but I care about you and Raymond and Abbot Stefano and Patrus Geralt and Patrus Clement, Amita Nina, Caroline. I care about everyone here. This is my only home, and they are my only family. What are you talking about, Fina? Of course I care about everyone else, just like you. No, it's not the same. If you were just like me, if you knew how Raymond and the others have it, then you wouldn't be in the mood to make your joke of a pizzella at a time like this. You wouldn't be so naive. I kind of feel like you changed after those people from Laterano showed up. Huh? Of course I haven't. Tuna, that gun of yours. Was Lemuen the Lateran who fixed it up for you?
Your Excellency, I've allowed the two visitors freedom of movement around the monastery, as you ordered. But are you sure it's alright? You don't look too good. Do you want to get some rest first? Oh, Clement. It's nothing you need to worry about. Go ring the bell. This week's sermon is being moved to today, so go tell the others. Geralt, are you and your people coming? Sorry, Stefano. We still have a lot to prepare. I can't say how many of us will show. I understand. But are we seriously going to accept their terms? Do we absolutely have to leave behind our own? Enough. Go, Clement. Hurry. Alright. If faith has betrayed itself, then I, too, must make my decision. I must repent.
Alright, before we continue on into the after cutscene, we have one new enemy to add here, which is the Wasteland Skulker. A member of a bandit gang operating in the Wastelands, sneakily operating in the shadows. They habitually speak in half-truths, and many of them used to moonlight as pickpockets before they drifted into the wastes. Alright, and let's continue. Geralt, are you coming to ring the bell with me or something? Is that weird? It is. I asked you once before to help me ring the bell, and you were having none of it. You ended up sending Raymond instead.
I guess that did happen.
I thought you didn't like the sound.
Can't say either way. After all these years.
After all these years, you still haven't gotten used to it.
You'll have to forgive me. That sound doesn't carry good memories. Clement, do you still remember Eileen?
Eileen. How could I forget? If the two of you hadn't saved me back then, the bandits would have thrown me down the canyon long ago.
He was the one who insisted on saving you. I didn't want to stick my neck out.
You're not supposed to say that to my face.
Sorry. We set up camp last night. Didn't get the greatest haul, and it wasn't easy to handle either. Raymond bled his game while I lit the fire. I was watching the tiny flame gradually sputter to life. And I don't know what came over me, but I suddenly started thinking of Eileen. Geralt. To be honest, I hadn't thought of her for the longest time. It was only when she came to mind that I realized. I can't even remember her face. She was always a bit of an outcast among us. He once told me that seeing the flowers all over the monastery and hearing the sound of the bell would set her heart at ease.
There are many flowers to look at these days.
Sadly true. Eileen loved the sound of the bell here, up until the day she left us, when she insisted on waiting until the bell rang to close her eyes.
So that's why you don't like it?
Maybe I'm just afraid. Afraid it'll be a harbinger of bad news.
If only we had enough medicine back then, energies might not have taken a turn for the worse, and it might not have come to that.
There are no ifs.
I hope she finds salvation.
Yes, we all do.
Geralt, is it true that you've decided to leave?
Yes.
I didn't think it'd be this sudden.
I should have told you earlier, but never had a chance.
It's probably going to be hard on Raymond and Fortuna for a while. Those kids have always gotten along. They're not going to take it easy.
Raymond's too young. He was too little when he first came here. He doesn't remember a whole lot. He doesn't yet understand what it means to be Sarkaz. But he will understand. He will come to terms with it. Perhaps that is the Sarkaz's fate.
Fate isn't a pleasant word.
Huh. You have a point, but I can't find a better one. Alright, I should go and visit Eileen. We'll be walking different paths from here on out, so I guess this is where we part ways.
Wait, Geralt. I'll go with you. It's only a slight detour and won't get in the way of anything. Oh, right. Look, the blooming season just started, so we can pick some flowers to give to Eileen. I'll go with you.
No, Clement. You're confused.
I'm what?
This isn't the path meant for you. You go up those steps over there. Keep going up. The scenery is prettier from up there.
Will you get to see that beautiful scenery?
Go ring the bell, Clement. Don't waste time. That is where you belong. Take care, brother.
What are you talking about, Fina? This has nothing to do with Signora Lemuen. Liar! Who else could fix up a patron firearm for you? Only that Laterano. Why would you think that? How can you tell if I'm lying or not? Fina, do you get how I'm feeling right now, at all? I really wish I could understand, Tuna, but I just don't get it anymore. The Halo says you're telling the truth, and that your pain is no less than mine. But if that's true, how do you still have the heart to sit there baking pizzella? How can you spend time around those Laterans like it's nothing? I just don't get it, Tuna. Fina, it's because I want everyone to live their best lives. What do you mean? We don't actually have a choice, do we? Even though Abbot Stefano never said it himself, and nobody talks about it with us, I've always known deep down in my heart. Laterano will let us back in. I overheard them saying that our monastery is actually a very powerful building, and Laterano absolutely will want us to go back. I also know that Patrus Geralt and the others, they might not be able to come with us. But I still want to try my best. If I can get the Laterans to understand that Geralt's people are all good, then maybe... Maybe what? They'd agree to let us all live together in Laterano? I get it now. Is that why you're always so willing to chat with that Lemuen woman? You think you're putting in a good word for them? Did you beg her? You think we have to get on our knees and beg for Raymond's people to not get left behind? Is that it? Fina, you're trying to get them to change their minds. So what do you have to show for it? I'm still working on them. You're wasting your time. Wasting it on a hope and a prayer, Tuna. How are we different from Raymond? Or Caroline? Raymond can do way more than I can, and Caroline's a lot smarter than me. See? You get it. They're splitting us up. They've accepted us as their people, but at the same time, they're looking down on the ones we truly belong with. I can't accept it. I'd rather not go to Laterano at all. But, Fina, didn't we agree that one day we'd leave the wastes and go to Laterano together? That we'd go live in a world without hunger or cold? A world filled with flowers rather than empty barrens, as far as the eye can see? That's just childish dreaming, Tuna. Do you really think so? You think it's just an empty dream? I'm not as optimistic as you are. All I know is, ever since those Laterans showed up, the air in the monastery has gotten weirder and weirder. It's true, our lives here have been incredibly difficult, but I've never resented that. I love listening to Abbot Stefano's sermons and Pater's Geralt stories about the past. Sometimes, when we didn't have enough food, Caroline would slip us a couple of extra pieces of jerky, or Amita Nina would give an extra scoop of the thickest veggie porridge to Raymond, and we'd get together and share it. I was fine with that. Vita. But what about now? Everyone always talks about how good Laterano is, but all I've ever seen of it is those people messing up our lives. I understand you need to vent, Vina, but you can't blame Senor Lemuen for that. Am I venting? Okay, maybe I am. But have you heard what everyone has been talking about in private? Have you noticed that Pater's Geralt and the others are coming by less and less? While you were busy delivering food to Lemon, while you've been busy making your stupid pizzella, do you have any idea what Caroline's people have been eating? You don't know anything. What? Wait, Vina, what are you saying? What's going on with Caroline? I didn't know. Yeah, you don't know anything at all. It's not your fault, it's mine. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I never would have known how bad the situation actually is. Tuna, if through our halos you can feel even a fraction of what I'm feeling right now, then hand your patron firearm over. Vina, what are you going to do? Just hand it over. There's no reason for us to pray to these things. Give it to me! Something's wrong with you, Vina. It's too dangerous. I can't give it to you. Why not? You say you'd share it with me. I did say that, but this is different. You said you didn't get me at all, but I should be the one saying that. What's gotten into you, Vina? Wake up! I'm all too awake. I've never been so awake. You want to talk about prayer? About the empathy Sancta have? I've had enough. I don't need to be special. All I want is... You can't! Vina, don't be like this. Huh? Vina? All I want is for everyone to stay together. Vina? What's wrong with you? You're scaring me. Vina! Yeah, finally caught up to you guys. So, what's the word? Everything going well?
Serpilia, you need to notify us in advance if you're going to act on your own.
Don't be such a hard ass, will you? All I want is to finish the job as soon as possible. First, the good news. I found Lemuen. She's inside the monastery. And then the bad news. She doesn't want to come with us. She always has her own agenda. Couldn't get through to her at all. Hey, don't frown at me. Go drag her out yourself if you've got what it takes.
Alright.
Huh? Alright, what? Wait, you gotta be joking, right?
No. Serpilia, let me give you a little insider tip from the Notorial Hall.
What is it?
Federico never cracks jokes. He is incapable. I will look at her myself and ascertain her thoughts.
What do you think, I'm lying to you or something?
I can't be certain that you are telling the whole truth.
Federico. Now I understand why so many girls in the Curia have you blacklisted.
Hmm?
Well, whatever. Let's set it aside for now. What's the situation over there? Did you manage to talk to the people?
Senor Richele? Is this one with you?
Yes, we're all colleagues.
What else do you want to know, young Sancta? We have nothing here, nothing at all. We also have nothing to say. You shouldn't have come.
Amita Nina, how could you say that? We were the ones who reached out to Laterano. You didn't have a problem with it then, did you?
A problem? I should have told Stefano a long time ago not to expect anything from Laterano. Yes, Julian, throw them out. We never should have left the Laterans in. We don't need their help. Get them out of here now!
Calm down, Amita Nina. What's gotten into you? Weren't you just saying you'd go welcome our guests?
Well,
Seems like the two of you need to sort things through in private. Is there anything I can do to help?
Sorry, Amita Nina here just got a bit worked up. I don't think we need any help. I just need to take her to get some rest. Come and find me if there's anything you need to talk about about later.
By the way, I forgot to translate this earlier as well when it came up for the first time. Amita is aunt. Yeah. Make sure she gets some rest.
That was kind of odd.
looks like things aren't going too well for you over here. What was that about?
Things seemed fine at first, but then I have no idea what happened. Federico, you were the one who wanted to interrogate the residents. Did you notice anything?
That woman's mood was unstable.
Well, it's not unusual for a person to change their mind mid-conversation. It's rare for someone to forget the topic entirely and change their demeanor. And so you mean...
I do have a theory.
But it's just a speculation at this point. I will discuss it if the likelihood rises significantly.
Then that's that. Besides, some of the residents being kinda loopy, you must have made some other discovery. Come on, revered executors, let's put our heads together. So, putting it plainly, the bishop dumped all this extra work just for the sake of the Sarkaz living here? Didn't we mention we were willing to bring them back to Laterano? He's leaving everyone out here to starve in the cold just for those Sarkaz? He detained the Laterano nuncio just for those Sarkaz?
Yes.
Seriously? First the traitor Anduin leaves, and now we get this merciful, compassionate bishop?
Yes.
Alright, cool. I'm not exactly into the drama, but is he out of his mind? No wonder Lemuen couldn't agree with him, considering what the Sarkaz did in Londinium. Those Victorian dukes are probably furious. If word got out that His Holiness was cavorting with the Sarkaz now, his plans for the Summit of Nations would be through.
Sounds pretty serious. Federico, if I remember correctly, the task given to Lemuen and Oren was to provide assistance and reclaim this monastery for Laterano, right?
Correct.
A good call, seeing as how this structure could serve as a fort and has a rather unique history. Definitely could come in handy. Especially when the time comes for us to reach out to Iberia again.
At least for now, there is no need for us to stoke conflict and burn bridges here. By the way, Federico, did you recognize that Sarkaz back there?
Yes.
Who is he?
A mercenary.
The average conversation between the two of you is about as interesting as what you eat last night, dinner. Federico, how much do I have to pay you for a few extra words? You name the price and I'll send the bill to His Holiness.
I have never considered this question. Give the guy a break. Alright. We know now Lemuen is well, but what about Oren?
The guy ran off a while ago. Even Lemuen doesn't know where he ended up. But he's pretty good with the self-preservation. If you ask me, he's probably hiding somewhere planning his next move.
Huh.
A bell? Where's that sound coming from?
The ringing of the bell signifies the beginning of the sermon.
Should we head over? There won't be anyone in the monastery during the sermon. We could look for Oren.
No, I'll attend the sermon.
Whoa, talk about out of character.
I need to ascertain the overall condition of this monastery to judge whether it can maintain stable function under current circumstances, or if outside intervention is needed. Attending a sermon, where a large number of residents will be present, is a good observation opportunity.
Oh. I suppose it does make sense if you put it like that, but shouldn't you be prioritizing some more clear-cut issues? For example, Oren, or is there something else you're worried about?
You are overthinking. I carry out my duties in the manner I find logical. Huh, the bell's ringing. That's strange. The Abbot normally doesn't preach at this time, so why is the bell ringing right now? Oh, Clement! Talk about great timing. Do you know what's going on?
The Abbot rang the bell because he decided last minute to deliver a sermon today. Let's head over to the chapel.
We should go, but we haven't finished our work yet. Why the sudden sermon, though? Does it have to do with the Laterans? Are they trying to... are they here to cause trouble?
Why would you ask that?
It's not a big deal, just tell me if it's true or not. Hey, tell me, are they not letting us go to Laterano because Geralt's people are here?
Where'd you get that idea?
It's been on everyone's mind. The Sancta and the Sarkaz are on bad terms, right? If not for that fact, we might already be back in Laterano. Well, there is no point talking about any of that now. I just don't know how the Abbot feels about all this. Clement, just forget I ever said anything. Nobody's blaming anyone, and there's nobody to blame in the first place. It's just that the winter's not easy. The cold's awful.
Yes, I understand.
Everyone's just thinking, if we could go to Laterano, we'd have food, clothing, and work, right? It'd be nice if there were some forest nearby. At least we'd be able to forage some branches to start a fire, so the kids could stay warm during the winter.
Yes, you're right. At least the kids would stay warm. But would our lives really improve after we go to Laterano?
Probably. I mean, where else would we go? You don't need to worry yourself over that too much, Clement. God will protect us. What was that sound? What's going on this time?
That sound? A gunshot?
Clement has rung the bell. Now I should prepare my final... Who's there? Fortuna, my child, is that you? Punctual as ever. Please take a seat until the others arrive. I still need to finish a few things. Fortuna? What's the meaning of this?
How was Stefano? Help me.
The bloodstained girl stumbles towards the stunned old man, one step at a time. The dim light finally illuminates the girl's face, revealing spotty traces of blood, as well as the black horns protruding from her forehead. In front of her stands a statue of a gun-toting saint bathed in light, but behind her, lies a trail of blood that cannot be erased. Sancta blood drips onto the chapel's floorboards, giving off a dull sound. It is a deafening sound, one that opens all eyes wide. The patron firearm used for prayer finally slips from the hands that were clutching it tightly.
Minashi.
Don't cry, sweet child. What happened to Delphina?
She's hurt. It was me. I hurt her. Abbot Stefano, please save her.
Father, are you alright? What happened? Fortuna? What are you doing here? Is that blood all over you? You... What happened here? Huh? That's...
Whoa. Is this for real? This ain't funny anymore.
You people again. What the hell is going on here? Why has Fortuna grown a pair of black horns? The Executor steps into the chapel under the watchful eyes of others. The fallen angel continues to weep, but Stefano has no choice but to turn his eyes to the visitor. The response from her halo is showing fluctuations, and horns are growing from her head. This is a clear indication that she has fallen. She has broken the commandments. And you can bet your sweet bums I'm leaving you on this cliffhanger until the next part. Sorry. Sorry for laughing, by the way. But yeah, this is where we're gonna stop for today. It is already a long video enough, and we still have one more part to add here as a bonus at the end. And don't worry, you won't have to wait too long until the next part. Should be out in like a day or two from now when this one goes up, so won't be too long. But anyway, let us proceed into the already mentioned full voice file and file for the OG Executor. And here we are at Executor's full file and voice file. One little bonus thing here that I'm gonna just quick mention and say, he did get also a operator record with this patch. However, as you can see, I have not opened or read it yet. It is simply titled Executor, by the way, which obviously is his both title and operator name. But I haven't read it yet because I'm still a tiny little bit always terrified that these characters will have some kind of story spoiler. But if by any chance this kind of fills out this story or takes place right before the story, I will be including it in the final episode, because I will be waiting until the final episode to read this, just not to spoil myself on something. And if it has any context to this story or fills out any kind of extra connection or whatever the hell, I will be adding it to the final part, so we'll see when we get there. But anyway, and also, he obviously got also a English wave of this patch, so you guys will be able to listen to the voice files in peace, and you won't have to read what's on the screen. But anyway, let us begin. So, Executor. Basic info. Codename, Executor. Gender, male. Combat experience, 5 years. Place of birth, Laterano. Date of birth, July 7th. Race, Sancta. Height, 181 centimeters. Almost as tall as me. Infection status, confirmed, uninfected by medical examination. Physical exam. Physical strength, standard mobility, standard physical resilience, standard technical acumen, excellent combat skill, excellent Originium Arts assimilation, standard. Profile. Executor is a citizen of Laterano, serving as an executor of the Laterano Notarial Hall, responsible for applying rights of the Laterano citizen numbered 1 through 13. He is well versed in many languages and legal frameworks. Executor has been contracted to Rhode Island, where he executes functions related to the rights of Laterano citizens. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal clear normal outlines of internal organs, and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system, and there are no other signs of infection. At this time, this operator can be confirmed to be uninfected. Cell Originium assimilation 0%, operator Executor shows no sign of horopathy infection. Blood Originium crystal density 0.13 units per liter. Has anyone researched the correlation between interpersonal relationships and crystal density? Maybe we should do this as our next task. Signed by a medical operator, T.O. Archive file number 1. The Laterano Notarial Hall is one of the official organs of Laterano state power. On the one hand, the hall imposes fees on the citizens of Laterano, urging them to perform various legal obligations, including but not limited to management of estate property, child rearing and guardianship, and execution of notarized contracts. On the other hand, the hall also performs various services guaranteeing the rights and benefits of Laterano citizenship. As such, the notarial hall requires a diverse and unique staff. Civil servants are dispatched to various states to supervise, execute, and oversee official functions. Operator Executor is one such employee. They are known as Executors and carry out the will of the Laterano Notarial Hall. Archive file number 2. The records of the Notarial Hall are open, fair, and transparent. Honestly, upon first inspecting Executor's records and commission, the Human Resources Department found it quite ordinary. October 12th. The designated property was delivered to the appropriate heir. March 5th. The company that violated the notarized contract was shuttered. June 2nd. Monies disbursed by the appropriate party in accordance with the contract. July 9th. In accordance with the wishes of the citizens, and so on and so forth. The majority of the tasks performed by Executor were mundane, if not boring, suitable for a low-level bureaucrat. In fact, 41 non-Laterano citizens died in the course of executing the first item. All had been sentenced to death or greater than 200 years in prison. While 6 civilian buildings were damaged in the execution of the second item, the third item saw the death of a Laterano citizen serving as the chief executive of a city-state guard unit. And the fourth item nearly caused a war. Most of Executor's mission record is like this. It is clear that the Notarial Hall deploys its executors only to the most challenging of missions. Archive file number 3. Operator Executor is a man slow to speak, who rarely smiles. The people of Rhode Island have long understood this. It is also widely believed that Executor lacks common sense, but such an assertion would need first be scientifically demonstrated. Human Resources does not accept such biased evaluations. Executor has indicated that his problem is not that he does not understand the facts, rather he does not understand the meaning that others attribute to them. Our studies have shown that Executor's lack of empathetic ability is not illustrative of psychopathic tendencies. Rather, it indicates a sort of mechanical absorption of information, with an overstimulated nervous system reaching similar conclusions. Adding more information to his mind does not result in the formation of secondary conceptions. Of course, the medical operators responsible for examination of Executor's brain activity have not yet reached a consensus. A small number of operators suspect that Executor is not in fact human, but rather a humanoid robot spy sent by Closure. Closure has denied such charges, but she too believes that Executor is not a human being. For his part, Executor has never responded to the rumors. He just silently accepts his tasks and completes them whenever he is told this is a task that should be prioritized. Naturally, he puts his notarial tasks first. Such is the origin of his name. He decisively eliminates all obstacles and executes the will of the Laterano citizenry. The Executor. Archive file number 4. Classified log. Executor gave me the incorrect impression that the Laterano's laws exist not only as statutes. Indeed, it is true that the Notarial Hall comprises one piece of the Laterano legal apparatus, and the Executors attest to an important fact. Laterano takes its responsibility to its citizens very seriously, treating it as a binding contract. But the Laterano people's adherence to the law, or even fear of it, goes behind an executor's powers to instill. I speak not of the power of religion. The political entities founded on deeply held beliefs go beyond Laterano alone, and the uniqueness of their citizenry cannot be attributed to piety or self-discipline alone. This is also not to say that executors, including Executor, are not themselves strong. Last week I saw him tear out the aorta of a vicious beast with his bare hands, spraying his partner with blood. That was not the first time an operator came crying to me that Executor is terrifying, and it certainly won't be the last. But for the hands of its few lawyers, executors, wandering judges, and the Pope himself, Laterano can do little more than proclaim that the law must be followed. In addition to its temporal statutes, Laterano must have another, higher order of law that we cannot perceive. Rather than saying the Executor is one piece of the Laterano legal apparatus, it would be more appropriate to say that the Executor is the physical manifestation that Laterano created to befit the name of the law. At least, that's my opinion. All I want to know is what Executor meant by the statute that takes effect once a shot is fired. Given what he said, I have to wonder if this law might be some kind of Originium art. This is the first time I have ever seen Kotsit at a loss for words. She appeared to have something to say, but turns and left with a cold laugh. The whole time we were discussing Laterano law, she kept a hand over her mouth and an eyebrow raised. It was odd. It was really odd. I hope my curiosity hasn't gotten us in trouble. Signed by the caster operator LAO. And now for the promotional record. Quick note here, this is at least 3 different people talking. I'm not sure who all of these people are, so try to follow along. You really want him? Think it over. Everyone in the dorm has told you how bad he is. Why do you guys want to get in the way of my happy future with him? It doesn't matter what he's like now. I believe in the power of love. He doesn't think about intimacy like you do. He's such a glass half empty kind of guy. It makes you want to give up. You guys are a bunch of cowards. Just get out of my way and let me give it a shot. How do you even know he's that kind of person? I know. Everybody here knows. Huh? Hey, spit it out. One of you did something. Who was it? Her. Her. What about you? I just took him out for a drink. Nothing else, really. Ellipses. So everybody here did it? I'm the odd man out here? I mean, he helped fix the backup system. It was really hot. So that's it? Give up? We all give up. A dialogue from a certain engineering operator's dormitory. That is all it says at the bottom. Alright, and now for the voice files, which means I shall shut up and you guys get to listen.
Fragmentation mines deployed. None may interfere with your work or rest, Doctor. You can focus on your duty. I am well aware that Rhodes Island has its own specialists in countering infiltration, sabotage, and assassination. I know not who is behind these, but they are operating covertly in every corner of this landship. My mind is just playing tricks on me? Negative, Doctor. My mind does not play tricks. I serve the Laterano Notarial Hall, so I rarely live in Laterano. But even if a Laterano citizen lives in other city-states, most of their rights and privileges still depend on the support of the Hall. In my case, for example, my work has less to do with the living, but more with those at death's door. The control system is denying you access? Please allow me to check it. It appears to be a front-end crash caused by inputting an erroneous command. It has nothing to do with the framework and can be easily solved. Doctor, please feel free to ask me if you have any similar issues in the future. I understand machines better than I do people. There are many Sancta at Rhodes Island who also use a gun. They will not fire at one another in the face of the law. But I am different. If necessary, I will not hesitate to fire upon my freighters. Of course, there is hardly a need for that, because my fists are sufficient to deal with most of them. Do not worry about the Notarial Hall. They are all reasonable people, and the agreement I signed with Rhodes Island is also in line with their protocols, so they won't make things difficult for you. As a matter of fact, Doctor, I think you are well suited for notarial work yourself. They always welcome foreign employees. I have a distant relative who had great musical talent ever since she was a child. Contrary to what others expected, her gift led her onto a tumultuous path. Fortunately, she seems to hate me very much, because I cannot see the illusion she creates, nor understand what emotion means to people. Private disputes are more frequent than public conflicts, as chaos is the norm over order. I have seen much more people who fired upon me at first glance than those who opened their doors to welcome me. But it matters not, for I can complete any commission, whether it is to kill a living person on behalf of the dead, or to create a dead person on behalf of the living. Being treated as an aberration is normal to me, because I cannot understand other people, nor do I have any desire to deal with them. On the contrary, talking to you is quite interesting to me, Doctor. Neither you nor the Notarial Hall has denied me because of the way I live. You make me feel at ease. Thank you. Rest is necessary, Doctor. Take your time and rest well. Well met, Doctor of Rhodes Island. I'm a Laterano citizen who signed a cleanup agreement with your company. Here is my certificate. You require to know my name? You may call me Executor if you insist. There is value in referencing these battles. Thank you. I have already prepared all the ammunition I need for the next battle. If the situation worsens, please allow me to use heavier firepower. Promotion? I have already thanked you for that. Another promotion? I understand. There must be an infiltration operation that requires me at the heart of the enemy. If that's your wish, then I have no objections. You have no such need. You're just promoting me? Why's that? The law won't enforce itself. It needs executors. I am not good at working with others. Departing. Objective: eliminate all enemies. Let's begin. Your request has been confirmed. Victory is an illusion. Only the law is the truth. My bullets always find their targets. I carry out the wills of the dead and the living. Maximizing firepower. All is permitted when called by necessity. Mission completed. All contracts successfully fulfilled. Mission completed. Mission completed. Defects in the result. Mission failed. Do not worry about me. I have no need for stable residence. I am confused. How can I help you, Doctor? Arknights. Doctor, please exercise caution.
Alright then, and that will be it for today. So, I hope you guys liked this first part. Stuff happened very quickly, and oh boy, I'm personally looking forward to how this is gonna go. This is going somewhere. Let's see how this whole thing is gonna keep on going. But anyway, thank you very much for listening and watching. Like I said, hope you enjoyed, and hope you're looking forward to the next part. Hope you can wait for it. It shouldn't be long. In a day or two, you'll get part number 2. Right before, or maybe even right on Christmas, we'll see. We're right in front of it. This story really had to drop right on Christmas, didn't it? But yeah, anyway, hope you're looking forward to the next part, and I hope you enjoyed this one, so please consider leaving a like on it if you're new to the channel, and want to stay around for more, please consider subscribing. And of course, if you want to support me even further, there are memberships available as well, with different values on each one of them. However, like I always say, no video will ever be behind a membership. It's literally just there to support both me and my work, so if you wanna, it's there. But yeah, thank you very much. If you're still pulling on on Executor Altar's banner, good luck. Hope you get him very, very early. Mine was, if you didn't see it yet, well, it was special. Anyway, sorry. Thank you very much. Hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next part. Until then, bye bye.